All right, it's the middle of the week. Let's take a look at the weather for you across the nation today. And of course, waking up in the northern Bahamas, you're waking up to some extremely windy conditions, all complements of this low pressure center. Here is the frontal system that's been meandering here in the stationary mode for the past several days, and a high pressure off to the west. The frontal system is sandwiched between these two centers. As a consequence, these pressure gradient lines that you see here, these white isobars, you see here are circulating around the high. These isobars and these pressure gradient lines are getting closer and closer together, and as they get closer together, it translates into windy conditions. As a result of that, we have some very strong winds occurring over the Abacos, which makes for, and Grand Bahama, which makes for a very rough landing because of the crosswind component that is occurring today. Pilots will have to really do that crabbing it in this morning to try to get in to land at these airports in the north. The frontal boundary again lies right along Abaco and the northern part of Eleuthera, Spanish Wells. It should be moving into Governor's Harbor. Now let me show you, as we put our satellite surface map into motion, you see how very little this frontal system has moved over the past 12 hours or 24 hours or so. So as a result of that, all of the showers and thunderstorms, weather associated with this system is just staying one place. And so that's the reason why we've been getting this overcast conditions and rainy conditions across the northern Bahamas over the last several days. And it's still a little bit more in this before we say goodbye to it, but it's going to eventually make its way out, and this tropical depression is going to also be taken away, caught up in this frontal system in time as a high comes down and brings some much drier and improved conditions. Let's take a look at our satellite imagery with infrared technology. We've got cloud coverage across the northern. Most of the Bahamas today is covered with clouds. You'll see some breaks in between with a few periods of blue skies, but for the most part, you're going to see mostly cloudy to overcast conditions up and down the coast. Let's bring it a little closer to you, and you'll see here again, this is the Abacos in Grand Bahama, Eleuthera and Cat Island, Long Island, and Rumkins and Salvador. And the nation's capital also is covered in clouds this morning. Andros is also covered with clouds, extending all the way down to Ragged Island. We've got cloud coverage in your neck of the woods. So most of the Bahamas, 90% of the Bahamas have some clouds associated over us this morning. Rain is showing up in the southeast Bahamas. We're getting some showers over Abaco early, showers over Grand Bahama, and strong winds from the north and rough seas. Don't forget, it is extremely rough out there. At Browns Bay, we could hardly see the breakwater that was put out there because the waves at the high tide were crashing right over them. And of course, that's what you have with these really rough seas. Today, 20 to 25 knots. It's more like 25 steady today, with gusting starting out the morning. 9 to 13 foot seas offshore, scattered showers, isolated thunderstorms. Same thing occurring in the nation's capital. With the northerly component of the winds, most of the runways that are lying east and west will have very strong crosswinds today. Grand Bahama, you'll be okay because your runway is running northeast and southwest, so you're all right. It's almost directly down the runway for Freeport. But elsewhere in Abaco, you're going to have some really tough landing. Treasure Key is going to be the worst, with possible even wind shear occurring at Treasure Key with these gusty winds. Southern Bahamas, you're on the eastern side of the frontal system, so you're going to get 10 to 15 knots. You should be all right, 5 to 7 foot seas. But if you're anywhere from Eleuthera, even Cat Island, up to Grand Bahama, Walkers, and Grand Key, you're going to get 20 to 25 with scattered showers and thunderstorm. Here's our tropical update. Are we still talking tropical in early part of October? You bet. We're still in hurricane season. We've got tropical depression number 16 that is likely to develop into a tropical storm, strong enough to become a tropical storm, but this is not going to pose any challenge to us. It's expected to ride off. Let's show you where the forecast cone is expected for this baby to go. Take a trip on the east, he'll get caught up in the frontal system and just go on out to the Atlantic and not pose any challenge to us at all. Forecast for tomorrow, notice Abaco is clearing out, Grand Bahama is clearing out, Eleuthera is also clearing out, the nation's capital. Anything west of Cat Island is going to be clearing out as the front pushes, finally makes its exit from this area, folks. We're glad to see this front go. And so you'll see some much improved conditions beginning this afternoon and into tomorrow as the high pressure builds strong enough to say, let's get out of here, frontal system, and give them some decent weather. Dry air is behind the front, and we'll get some much improved conditions. Here's what the winds, 20 to 25 knots behind the frontal system on Thursday, 8 to 12 foot seas, small craft caution continue. The nation's capital, you'll also see 20 to 25 from the north, northeast, Grand Bahama, and then the southern Bahamas, you'll see 15 to 20 knots. Bryland and Governor's Harbor, you'll also see down there at Governor's Harbor Hardware with the Honorable Philip Bethel and the crew down in Spanish Mains, 20 to 25 knots today, overcast and some showers and thunderstorms. Down in Rock Sound with Roscoe and crew, you'll get 20 to 25 knots down in your area. In Bryland, you'll also get 20 to 25 knots past the Sam, and in Spanish Wells, Evangelist Frank Perry, look for windy conditions. Similar to what we're getting here in Marsh Harbor and Dundas and Murphytown, you'll get right in your neck of the woods in Grand Bahama as well. All right, let's take a look at Friday. Look at this. Improved conditions. 10 to 15 knots, drier air taking over the atmosphere, and we should be okay for the Bahamas. Southern Bahamas winds will be slightly higher, 15 to 20 knots on Friday. Saturday, again, we'll have some much improved conditions, and likewise on Sunday, as we'll be under the influence of that high pressure that will be dominating our weather feature over the next several days and into the Discovery Day holiday weekend that comes up this weekend. All right, let's take a look at your boating forecast for today. Strong winds, 20 to 25 knots, 9 to 13 foot seas over Abaco and Grand Bahama. Boy, look, we're in the bay and inland waters, right offshore here of Dundas Town at Ocean View Park. It looks like we're getting 6 to 8 foot seas right off there with the high tide as we speak. Whale Key will be rough and ragey conditions. So small craft, stay in port. It will be rough. If you got to go, take a ferry to come across. Southern Bahamas, you won't see any of this that we're seeing up here, 10 to 15 knots. From the northeast, 8 to 15 foot seas offshore. High tides occurring at 7:19, low at 1:44 this afternoon. High tonight at 7:14 p.m. That's a look at your weather. We'll be uploading this weather to our Abaco Disaster Committee webpage. Pump in Abaco, just type in Google search abacodisastercommittee.com, and you should be able to view this weather updated at least around 10 o'clock this morning.